Visual technologies are revolutionizing business and humanity. A part of this beginning keynote will be similar to yesterday, and the second half will be totally new because some people weren't here yesterday. What are visual technologies? Any tech that captures, manages, analyzes, filters, displays, distributes visual data, typically leveraging computer vision and artificial intelligence. Our ecosystem, why we bring this fantastic group together, is unique. These 6 groups, the creators, the startups, the investors, media and brand execs, and computer vision AI execs, experts, usually go to different events. And we thought 4 years ago, why don't we bring you all together to create some serendipity and learn from each other? And it's really amazing how much it's working. People come up to me and say, hey, computer vision students, professors saying, I never get a chance to talk to investors. I never get a chance to speak to the big tech execs, and vice versa. So it's working, and we love it. And we're always trying to improve our summit. So please share your thoughts. Yesterday was a deep dive in tech. As we do frequently for those that are very tech savvy, I say 80% should be over my head, and I'm not an engineer. Today is more product and business, with each day discussing how we're going to disrupt and empower, and our goals are all these. So one or more of these might fit each of you. People come to get recruited, they come to get funding, they come to do deals and be inspired. We couldn't do it alone, and we don't do it alone. Rebecca from Cakeworks and Serge from Cornell Tech are key collaborators to help us with speakers, the panels, the sessions, and what we should focus on each year as far as trends. Additionally, of course, our sponsors and partners make this all possible. LDV Capital, Cakeworks, Cornell Tech, SVA with this great theater, ICP, Amazon, Facebook, GumGum, JW Player, Exponential View, Capture, and VisWorld. And VisWorld over there, Dean, is the brilliance behind the art graphic recording this, which you'll see throughout the day. There are the technicalities, Wi-Fi, get on, and share your inspiration. So who am I? 5 years investing out of LDV Capital. Prior to that, 18 years as an entrepreneur building 4 visual tech businesses. Actually started as a photographer when I was 13 with a Nikon F, a Nikon FM, and a Rolleiflex, and now only shoot with my camera phone. We invest in people building visual tech businesses with deep technical knowledge. This is Dan from Vision Insights, MIT alum, and one of many that we love to help and support and empower to build big businesses. Just as a perspective, I mentioned there, we started LDV Capital in 2012, and everybody said, you're crazy, Evan, investing in computer vision and visual tech and AI. That's cute, it's niche, and it sounds like science fiction. Well, a couple years later, it's a big topic, and it's not going to stop. It's going to evolve to be a core piece of everything that we do in our personal lives and in business. Here are several sectors, not all, that we are excited about. The way to look at what does LDV Capital invest in, it's people relating to any topics at this summit. Here are some of the companies we've invested to date. Most importantly, we get in very early. There might be 1 or 2 people with a team, a little validation, and our goal is to help them get to each stage and hopefully raise follow-on funding, and to date, very successfully, follow-on funding from the best names in the industry. Why do we do this summit? Once again, we're a single GP. We're a 2-person team with actually 3 with an intern this year, and a huge network. The goal is, how do we empower this ecosystem to come together and scale and hopefully make money while we sleep? And so we do these events. We also have monthly dinner series in New York, and the goal is helping each other succeed and connecting people to other people that can help each other. Okay, topic of today we talked about. Cameras will be everywhere. There's many types of visual data, as we talked about yesterday, and I'll just reiterate for those that weren't here yesterday. Radar, thermal, MRI, X-ray, white light, any of that visual data in my mind are opportunities that are going to change our world. There is now a war over the camera, and I was talking last night with a couple folks. When I say camera, I no longer mean a DSLR or a point and shoot. And I want to reiterate, the camera that I'm talking about is the camera on our smartphones or on hands-free cameras, meaning security cams or others, or autonomous driving cameras. These major companies, among many others, are in an unbelievable war to own that camera and to manage that data because it's the core of our existence, and we'll talk more about that. So Instagram started years ago in 2010 with filters. Snapchat, now Snap in 2011. Last year, Microsoft Pix is one of the first cameras leveraging AI and computer vision. You see they're comparing Apple and Microsoft on the right. Obviously a big difference. Even a couple weeks ago, Amazon came out with the Amazon Echo Look with a camera, which validates a thesis I had and wrote about a year ago that says the Internet of Eyes, all inanimate objects, will have cameras. And hopefully, they will improve our lives. This will hopefully improve my shopping, which I hate doing. Snap added 3D filters. Oh, look, recently Mark said they're making the camera the first augmented reality platform. Then Instagram does the 3D filters. This is only a couple weeks ago. Oh, look, Google, the little company, says now our augmented reality Google Lens is going to become their search box. They didn't say that, but it basically is. So Amazon, Facebook, and Google and the others are saying, hey, we want to control this camera. Hopefully it's going to benefit us all, but it's going to be fascinating to watch to see who wins. There's a 3D sensor coming out in iPhone. Apple's iPhone might be this year, might be next year, but it'll have many more things in it. But why is this important? Because 90% of the data our brains process is visual. Photos, videos, and other visual data. It's the core of how we communicate. It's the first thing we used to run into a burning home to get those pictures out, and then you grab the kid. Artificial intelligence will not succeed without vision, because I believe it's going to be the same. 90% of the data that artificial intelligence analyzes will be visual, and it's the killer app for AI. So here's a perspective. I had a little more hair a little while ago. In 2003, I wrote an article that said camera phones would replace point-and-shoot cameras. I'm not always right, but that has been validated, and we'll talk about a couple more. And the way I look at it is I try to understand themes and trends in advance of finding great people building businesses in those trends. And the challenge is not being bleeding edge, but being cutting edge. Here's another one I've been talking about for a while. So this is the next iteration. And a lot of my best friends are photographers, award-winning photographers, traveling the world, shooting sports, wars, etc. And we've had this discussion for 25 years almost. But now I really strongly feel that DSLRs, the trend of when they said, oh, we have 5 megapixel, we have 10 megapixel, we have higher quality, it's going to be the same with camera phones. 3D sensors in these camera phones will be, in my mind, the nail in the coffin for 99% of DSLRs. For example, this is kind of a fun mockery of what people are trying to do, okay? But that whole thing will be in the camera phone. And people are building that now, the Google Pixel. Interesting, the Google phone is called Pixel. Reiterates the war of the camera. Adding triple image sensing. It's the same trend of what the analog cameras, Nikon, Canon, and others, did to digital. They kept on bragging about the new digital enhancements and what we're doing. It's the same thing. Those will go out of business unless they reinvent themselves. Oppo is another cell camera saying lossless 5x zoom, even the same terminology that the camera companies did. Oh, look. Samsung's going to come out with a dual rear cameras, maybe an iris scanner for biometrics. Oh, another one. It's a Leica camera phone with bragging about aperture and bragging about sensor size and megapixel on the front and the back. Takes the camera to another level. And a DSLR that Robert's using and others, it only has one lens, forward. Think about this. That camera phone is going to have many more lenses. Here's a 23 megapixel sensor. And once again, we look forward to seeing what Apple and iPhone does. Here's a unique project recently that a bunch of scientists put together in Zurich that automatically gathered images from the web to build a 3D environment. More cameras is not the goal. The goal is visually understanding and communicating our lives. And I will always believe that content is king. It's a means to an end. The visual web will soon be 3D. We hear a lot of hype about it, but let's talk, it's going to happen in different aspects, from education to studies. And the goal is not that I'm wearing tech. The goal is what I'm looking at. So there's a big chicken and the egg about content. Obviously, we've seen this with Magic Leap. More educational interaction. Most importantly now, I think the biggest trend and uniqueness is there's clear ROI on the business side. We're not going to be wearing these headsets everywhere. We have phones, they're going to be 3D. But here are real use cases to study using HoloLens, medical. Or a company we invested in is going to speak later today, who's hopefully going to speak because he's stuck on the runway. Upskill is powered an OS platform for smart glasses for the workforce. They just raised from GE and Boeing, and wearing a headset on an assembly line is 34% faster. Think about the potential of every assembly line in the world. Another opportunity that really impacts humanity is vision challenges. And we're going to hear later today from Yoni from Orcam, who is building a smart glass to help the blind. Okay, so science fiction, not sure when this is going to happen. Is it going to be in our glasses or is it going to be our phones holding it up? But the interaction of more visual data on top of our days will probably be years out, but it will happen. 3D is critical to that reality. Let's talk about entertainment a little bit. Recently, the Tribeca Film Festival, Penrose, created Arden's Wake. It's very early days, but we're starting to see real content, and that's that chicken and the egg. Blackout from Scatter is actually a collaboration with one of our startup competitors from last year, DepthKit. Very cool stuff. It's very early. Tomorrow's doctors, a whole other subject that fascinates me. We're going to have several topics today about medical imaging. In the future, cameras are going to replace those stethoscopes. We're going to have swallowable cameras. We talked about this last year. We're going to have nano cameras. Okay, this is much further out. But imagine all of us now with cameras in our veins communicating with a doctor, hey, get a hold of Evan. He's stressed on stage because some speakers are stuck on the runway, and get him some whiskey very quickly. Great. If that helps me, I'm happy. And just imagine the visual data that we're going to have to manage and analyze. And 99% of that visual data that a computer will analyze will have no value. We just care about the 1%. Radiology and the medical industry were very early in medical imaging, but they haven't evolved recently. Soon they're going to. CAT scans. Yesterday we heard from Matt, who's building an MRI that is 60 times cheaper, portable, and affordable. Wow. Imagine having this in ambulances, in your home, or in a stadium, or wherever you need it. Evolution in medical imaging is tremendous. A company we're going to hear later today, Recursion, is going to analyze 100 million pictures of human cells to try to treat diseases. Or Path AI can analyze cancer by the color of that tumor with their computer vision and machine learning. Okay? A human could not have seen that easily. Another ways to view our brain, aside from being a beautiful, cool image, the potential here of understanding using vision, and Bo is smiling in the front row because he's dealing with this all the time, is amazing, navigating our brain in whole new ways. I don't know what that's going to bring, but there's smarter people than me that I can't wait how that's going to improve our health and our happiness. The opportunities are huge. Here's the list of you're crazy, which I love when people say it, and I've got to filter that out. But fortunately, the green ones have come true, and we're going to continue to do this. I'm not always right, but several of these things based on the themes that we invest in and can't wait to meet people in the audience building new companies. Most importantly, I always end with this. It's about loving the living of life. I came back from a funeral this weekend of my best friend's father, and I'm ecstatic to be here, to be inspired, because every day of every second of our lives we should celebrate. Even if it's raining, even if we're stuck on a tarmac, there's always a solution, okay? And it's about loving the living of life. It's just the beginning in this industry, and I'm going to keep on saying that because actually it's always just the beginning. There's always something else, and I guess that's the optimist in me. Carpe diem. Let's hear now from folks that are smarter than me. I'm happy we're all here. And on that note, I'll say thank you. And I would like to introduce John Smith from IBM, who's going to come up here and talk about how IBM is leveraging visual recognition at scale. Thank you very much.